Ahoy hoy, and welcome to the 25 Cent Play podcast for Tuesday, December 13th. As always, I'm your host, Matt. I'm joined by Steve. Steve, how's it going?
It's going.
And I was thinking about calling you Stevedore from now on.
Why?
I don't know, because I was listening to something that was talking about in the context of shipping and people unloading a ship, and it used the term Stevedore, the proper term Stevedores. I was like, Steve would be a good Stevedore.
Mm-hmm. Well, you just keep thinking about that.
Wait, and that makes me think of, what are the cookies or biscuits? Stelladoro. Your name is now Stelladoro. And Charles. Charles, how you doing?
GLHF. Go, go, go. Come on, noobs. Let's get in lane.
I was going to say, we're not playing
You've been playing too much League of Legends, dude.
L2P? I'm tired of this noob.
Matt, you got to leave.
Stop feeding. Are you feeding?
Matt's always feeding. He doesn't know how to
feeding.
play.
Always.
Noob.
Can I just say for the record that Charlie has become what he hated the most?
Well, right now he did, yes. He finally, his transformation was complete.
Yep. You finally embraced the dark side.
Cheers.
You're welcome. You scrubs.
I'm surprised you never embraced the anonymity of the internet to become a huge douchebag. I think it's you like the personal touch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're going to douche it
Bring
up.
him in close when you stab him in the back.
Okay.
You know, the big problem is that you got to have a lot of you have to have a lot of accounts, which means you have to have a lot of email
By the way,
addresses.
Matt, this is really good.
Yeah, you're liking your Chimay, Steve?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
That if you truly want to troll, there's a lot of work. There's a lot of stuff that people don't know. Every time you hear someone on the internet just type randomly pictures or it didn't happen or tits or get the fuck out, there's a lot of stuff that went into that. That person had to have an email address that he probably is never going to use again. He had to think of a password to go with that email address. He had to think of a clever name. You know, it's not you can't just write a regular name if you're going to troll someone. You got to have like you know.
Alan Quartermain 420.
Sure. Or Palin Sex 420 XXX. You know, something in there that's like, you know, really catches someone's eye. So when you're on the Fox News website or, you know, 4chan or, you know, even if you're just like, you know, going over to the, what was that show that you like? The 16 and a Mom? Teen Mom 16?
No, that's not a
Teen
show
Mom,
I like.
yeah.
That's a show April likes.
You know,
Teen
if you're,
Mom, yo.
Yeah,
I
if
don't
you're
know if
on
we're
their
gonna be talking about
forums
that
and
this
you're
week.
like, yo, I do her kid too. You know, you can't just throw out an identity. That you have to save that. It's like a bullet. Every time you're like a secret CIA agent, and every identity is a troll in and of itself.
See, I was thinking more just like having your identity be burnable. Like you live a regular job, or you live a regular life with a regular job, like every day, and then one day they find out you're KGB, and so you just got to burn and run.
Right. You know,
Steve, you been trolling on the internet?
That's all I do.
Steve can tell you about
Steve Adello.
This back end lifestyle that I refer to that makes living the troll lifestyle not as easy.
Trolling is easy. Don't listen to him.
I heard that you wrote the first algorithm to automatically make people cry on DeviantArt.
Damn straight I did.
Yeah, it's called search for images.
No, we're not talking about.
through comment
We're not
posting.
talking about the viewers. We're talking about the people who put
Yes,
stuff up
the
there.
artists.
Hey, I have stuff on DeviantArt.
You know, it's funny that I say that because right when Charlie came into my house before we came over here today, I started a game. What was it called? Like Nightfall?
No,
You posted some stuff on
Nightlife?
DeviantArt.
Night Sky?
I don't know. If you can't get it right, we probably shouldn't talk about it.
Jeez,
It's
man.
one of the games in the new Humble Indie Bundle. I think it's called Night Sky. But anyway, so I started playing it, and like clearly it's supposed to be like an artsy indie game, and I just kept saying like, Charlie, look, it's art. Like, oh, look at the way this is communicated. This is amazing. This game is art.
I don't enjoy video games ironically, so I
And then after
really
I riffed on it for like 10 minutes, I was like, this game actually does look cool, but you know, it's art.
Way to shit on somebody's game, Matt. See, now you're trolling. Perfect.
Exactly.
We're on the internet.
Yay.
Oh boy, yeah. So this is probably going to be our last podcast of 2012.
No,
Yeah.
we're gonna get at least one while you're in New York.
Yeah, dude, I'm totally down. I got a video camera on my new laptop, so we'll just have a.
Yeah, we'll have to test that out
Telecommunicast.
once you get there, and we'll see what we can do.
Um,
But a quick hit from your mom's house, I think.
well, this will be our final podcast, all in the same room together.
Yeah.
The final podcast where we're all sleepy from burritos and drunk from beers.
Until next year, when we'll be drunk on beer and sleepy.
Yeah, there
from
aren't very good
burritos.
burritos in New York, so we'll be.
Hey,
full of
next
pizza.
year, should we switch to a different food group? I mean, burritos are a food group.
We need to check out the Korean. I think I was
Korean
trying to I was trying to pull an audible that we would get the Korean tacos from the Division food trucks, but it just didn't happen.
It's a good idea.
We'll put it up for review.
Really, Steve? Seeing as you hate everything,
Do you like
there's probably
I like
vegetables in there.
yeah, but it's full of beef.
bulgogi is part of Steve's 4 major food groups.
That's right.
I was thinking of Steve and his dietary concerns.
I got the meat spectrum covered. My wife has all the vegetables. And,
Do we have
that's how we do it.
Do we have any great games that anyone's played that they would like to tell me about?
I finished Saints Row the Third. It continues to be amazing. It is a delight at every turn. There's just it's so many references, both video game based and other pop culture based, and it is really, really good. I beat it after about 10 or 11 hours. I played it for a couple more. Now I'm just over 13. The game kind of ends, and the last mission of the game lets you choose which ending you want, and then after you complete it, it puts you back in a state where you'll always have that one last mission to go to, so you can replay it and see the other ending easily. And that's when you go around and just mess in the open world. So I've just been going through and doing random
wait for the DLC to come out.
So, would you call this a must get for? Let's define the set of people who might enjoy this game.
Yeah, there are people that if you enjoyed Red Faction Guerrilla or Just Cause 2 or any Grand Theft Auto before 4.
So open world. If you like open world games, this is must.
Yes.
This is a must.
Yeah,
what about if you like third person shooters?
No. Because a third-person shooter, by its nature, means it's going to be linear and
No.
corridor-based.
But I mean, is the shooting good?
Yeah,
Okay.
but it's good in the sense that an open-world Grand Theft Auto-style games are good. It's not good in the Gears of War.
But most
sense.
importantly, the wrestling moveset. Is it complete?
There are no wrestling moves. That was a lie.
That's not true. I've watched.
I watched you do a wrestling match.
Yes, and that is not. And running up and doing that and having a move happen is just a function of running and hitting a button, and the move that happens
it's just kind of-
contextually.
okay.
There is no.
So you're not busting out wrestling
Correct.
moves like a wrestling game.
You never did a
Okay.
DDT.
No. There is no.
Have you looked on GameFAQs?
No.
Okay.
The game is very good at communicating stuff to you. If there's an elaborate, there's no grapple button. Okay, there's only run at people and hit a button. And
Okay.
like I said, contextually, you will do wrestling moves.
How about driving? Would someone who likes driving games like this game?
This is once again, if you like driving in the context of open world games, because the driving is fine. It's good. It's like an arcade driver, but it's still not as good as.
Yeah, I was
going to
say, is it tight or?
It's a Burnout Paradise type game. The driving is plenty good, but it is not.
Okay. If you like RPGs, you think you might like this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Are there levels?
Yes,
Yes. Can you level up the dildo bat?
Yes. Well, actually, no. I think the dildo bat you can't level up, but you can level up all the weapons. You level up. You have to buy your unlocks with money, but a lot of them are gated by your level.
1 out of 2 tacos.
So
I'm not
like
rating it higher than that.
Yeah, stuff you might have heard about the game like that. A lot of the higher level stuff you unlock are things like infinite ammo and you basically being indestructible. But if you just mainline the story quests like I did, none of any of that. You are by no means high enough level for the level gate on those things to be listed to even be available. So to get to that ludicrous stuff, you have to do all the side. Not all, but you have to do a lot of side quests. You have to generate revenue that way, and you also have to earn respect, which is the XP system that way. You can't just mainline. If you just mainline the story like I did, when you get to the end, it's still challenging because no matter how good the upgrades you have are, they're not infinite ammo, and they're not your indestructible. Like, you have more health than the base character. Your weapon is better than the base weapon, but you still, like, if you want to get the crazy stuff, like, you need to grind it out and like do the side missions and stuff.
All right. What other kind of games? Yeah, I guess that's it. Like, the raising a pet is not really. That's not really much of a crossover. What other kind of games are there? Puzzles, not so many puzzles.
Ultimately, what I can say about the game is that in terms of gameplay, I liked Just Cause 2 better, and that has a lot to do with the insanity of the grappling hook parachute combo. But in terms of shooting, this game is just as good, if not better, than Just Cause 2. And in terms of, like, story, it's like not even in the same galaxy. Like, because Just Cause 2 has ridiculous voice acting and a silly story that exists just to facilitate the chaos. And Saints Row the Third, like I said, I played 10 hours of it and played through all the story missions, and the thing driving me forward was the story, the characters, the quality of the writing, the voice acting. Like, it's really good and really enjoyable. Albeit completely ludicrous.
Well, it's a video game.
The game is absurd, and I don't mean that in, yeah, it's a video game. It's absurd in, like, almost like the absurdist, like, writing style sense. Like, what's that guy's name? Ionesco, the playwright. It's absurd like an Ionesco play. Like, the things that happen are ludicrous, and they only make sense to you if you're a person that is a video gamer in pop culture. Otherwise, you're just like, this is fucking crazy and weird. Like, but contextually, the absurdity can make sense if you get the references and stuff. And then some of it is just absurd for the hell of it. So, yeah, fantastic. So beat it and still playing it.
Awesome. You play anything else, or
a lot of TF2?
Lots of conference calls this week.
Yeah. Yep, indeed. Yeah, I've really gotten back into TF2 a little bit. Now that my spirit's been completely broken and I've gone from the opposite of wanting every achievement and every item to not giving a shit about any of that stuff, and all I care about is having fun playing the game.
So is it fun?
Yeah.
Well, then there you go.
Yep, not buying items, not crafting items, not trying to get Chivos, just
shooting fools in the face.
Yep. Setting up turrets.
Banging on those turrets.
People. Yep. Good times.
Nice. Have you seen any shifting in the metagame? Have you seen any people doing some different stuff? Most of the stuff that I see, like, when I play, is like I play with either people who are intentionally trying to do ridiculous crap, meaning they have ludicrous loadouts, or they are free-to-players that are using the default weapons. And I don't really see anyone who's like, oh, hey, yeah, I'm going to do this, and then you do this, and we'll try to do this together and see if we're an unbeatable combo.
No, I play on a lot of servers where there's, like, good coordination and people talking, but I never play on the type of servers that you do where they have, like, hacks and mods and stupid shit with beach balls. Like, they're just...
No, I just mean, like, people trying to use the weapons in an interesting fashion.
Nothing specific, but sure, all the time. Everybody's got a different loadout.
Interesting. That was one of the things I was thinking about in playing, like, these Dota games, is because those games are all about, what your eventual loadout is. And there seems like there's, on the outer edge of that stuff, there's like, scenarios that are, the Reckonator. Whereas with TF2, I kind of noticed that everyone's got, like, either you're just really good with that loadout, there's no, like, with the exception of chain medics, I think everything else is at least somewhat balanced.
The only thing that I think continues to be, but this is old at this point, the Eternal Reward, the spy knife, where you stab somebody and then immediately transform into them, like that is ridiculously overpowered. Like if people are decent at using it, like that's the only thing I ever die to that where I'm frustrated. There's no combo of pyro weapons or scout weapons where I'm repeatedly like ever feeling like, oh, this person killed me because of what they were using. Like, no, it's still just a shootout.
No. Because I've seen some combinations with, like, the Brass Beast and, like, you know, heavy medic combos that still are...
Well, here's the... I mean, like, things... Like, I played medic a little bit, which I haven't done probably in 2011, but there was a team that was working together well enough that I felt they deserved it. But the problem is that there were two heavies and they both had the... whatever the fuck, the Brass Beast is a chain gun that's slower but does a lot more damage, and there's another one that's and slower to spin up with slower movement speed. And I don't mean slower rate of fire, slower to spin up with slower movement speed, but does a lot more damage, and one that is quicker to spin up and faster movement speed that does a lot less. And both heavies on my team had that gun that is a great gun when you're just out in the field killing stuff, but when, for the purposes of being Ubered and then taking out things like sentry guns, like that gun is useless. Like, I looked and I'm like, both of these heavies have this fucking piece of shit, and we're not going to be able to get the sentry guns down if these guys have this loadout.
So they had the Brass Beast?
No, they had the other one.
The one that takes no spin up. The
one that makes no sound and has a faster spin up. I have one. I've used it. Like, it is it is cool, but it's cool only in the it has faster movement speed and faster spin up.
Yeah,
it's cool only in the context when you're in
gangster one. It's for the gangster loadout, I think.
Yeah, it's for the like with the family business and
yeah, exactly.
So, you know, that weapon has great context when you are in an open field. Tomislav, yeah. When you're, like, out in the open, like, battling, running around, like, the spin-up time and the movement speed is really important to keep you alive. The Brass Beast has a lot of use when you're going to be a stationary turret or when you're looking to go for an Uber combo where you're going to be being healed by a medic. So they in terms of like the quote unquote like meta game, like I would say the I don't even think of it as a meta game. It's basically just a lot of people have arbitrary loadouts and they're not thinking about the situational nature of those weapons. Like some of the weapons are not situational. Like my loadout for the pyro, I use the degreaser.
The situation is you are a pyro.
Yes, and the only time, but there's still a decision of do I want the flare gun or the shotgun, depending on how the combat's going. But that's still your second weapon, right? Like that's not, you know, that's not. I'm gonna give like, you know, I can triple jump, but I don't have a second weapon now, or whatever the fucking stupid thing with the scout is, whatever the trade-off for being able to triple jump is.
Triple jump is you take a health hit when you triple jump.
So, yeah, it's still good. I mean, I play on public servers, and some of them are good and some of them are bad. Like, I only play stock maps. Like, I don't play some random bullshit. Anything with a V and a number after it or anything I haven't heard of. Like, for the sake of not worrying about the metagame, Charlie, I play maps that haven't changed in 2 years. Like, I play Badwater, and I know every spot on that map where it's cool to put stuff. And I still experiment sometimes, and other people still experiment sometimes, but there's no killer location. And because of, like, the nerfs to weapons and how things have changed over time, like, you know, there's no killer location to camp as a demo. There's no killer location to put your sentry gun. Like, if people want to, like, put their thinking cap on and kill you, they're going to kill you. They just need to identify you as a threat. Like, if someone cares to get their act together to take out your sentry gun, they're going to take it down. Lots of times they don't do that.
Yep. Yeah, the way I play is usually I'm that guy who's like, yo, screw this. I'm going sentry gun hunting. Basically, I play scout, and if I can't run directly at the point I'm supposed to do, then I go and I switch to a class that can kill the thing that stopped me from doing that.
When I'm on a
I
32-man
shoot rockets
server,
at people.
that's a good way.
That's
But
that's
with
what
the
I do.
pyro,
You can solve a lot of problems that way.
I usually do. Even when pyros shoot those rockets back at me, I shoot more.
But when on a team with 15 other human beings, there will be sentry guns, and I'll be like, "What are these people ever like? What's up here?" And I'll switch off the class that I was having fun with that I wanted to play, and I'll become demo man, and I will
blow
take
up.
out 3 sentry guns in one life, and then switch back to whatever I was doing. And I'm not that great at TF2. I would place myself in high mediocrity. I am the high middle class of TF2 players.
Yeah,
Like-
I would have to say though that the amount of hours that you've put into the game, even though you consider yourself not that good as a player of that game for as many hours as you have played, like you're gonna know some tricks and be able to play better than someone who maybe just jumped on with free to play.
Yeah.
You know, maybe they're not an FPS player. Maybe they're only 8.
Maybe they have crap.
Yeah,
they're only
I
2.
like that. Maybe they're only 8.
So
Maybe they were playing Spiral Knights and they saw this game was free too, so they installed it.
yeah, so I mean, you never know.
Um,
Gabe stopped by their house and said, "You should try this. It's good."
Maybe they're Australian.
Maybe they are Australian.
but yeah, I bought the Humble Indie Bundle. I played that artsy game, The Night Sky or whatever, and I played a half-hour Cave Story, which I had never played before, but I had seen video of. So
Oh, there's a new Indie
No.
Royal bundle as well. I can't think of what's in it right now though.
So here's the problem with the
So many bundles.
I might
Yes,
throw
this-
the joystick in my bag. Wait. Yeah, no, that should work. Throw the joystick in my bag because I think 3 of those games I got are all super joysticky.
Yep.
But
And
that,
hey,
of course,
you
would
can
be like-
install the native Mac versions on your sweet ass laptop, and they'll probably run a lot better.
No, yeah, that was actually the one of the nice things about what got the average. I went average Mac sale, not average Windows sale. That was too low.
I definitely
Average Mac
appreciate the fact that, and I still put my operating system as Linux, but the average Linux sale is like almost twice what the average Windows sale.
My guess
Yeah,
on that is
yeah.
if you saw who the top bidder was, it was like a couple. It looked like some thousands of dollars. And I
Yeah,
bet
it was
Yes,
like,
that-
it was,
yes,
it was
that-
like one
that-
of the developers
yeah.
of one of the games.
Yes,
And he
I was
probably
gonna say
put
that
it-
is true. If like Cliffy B spends $10,000 and says his platform is Linux, then that means that the average Linux pay is going to go up by that
Yeah.
$10,000.
Also, I think that theoretically, if
Cliffy B system is 360.
also I just figured that if there are just so many more people in the Windows pool that you're going to get so many more people that pay the penny. But yeah, between Shank, Cave Story, and Jamestown, all 3 would be great with a controller. But I don't know.
I don't know if Cave Story can use a controller because when I logged,
Yes,
I
it can.
had my
Yeah,
controller
the
in
new
my
version,
hand and I
the
logged
new
in.
version should be able
It's
to.
controller enabled. So says Steam.
You don't
insofar
really,
as you
you
can
don't
mount
really
the
need a
keyboard
controller
keys.
for that game though.
Yeah. But still,
That
like
game is so good. Though.
outside of the niceness of the charity and all, still pretty good value.
Yeah, definitely.
Even if you're paying like
We are
even if you're paying the average, if you're not even paying the average, if you're paying the suggested, like you're still saving several dollars.
Yeah, and I my only concern about the saturation of all these different bundles is just that I keep buying them and I keep having a ton of games that I never get around to playing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
at
but
some-
you
and
do
at
that
some
with
point-
unrelated bundles. You do that with like full new releases.
That is true. I still haven't installed Batman.
That game is good.
I told you I got
Battlefield-
tired
I
of
think
trying to
Backtick
troubleshoot
Arcana
Battlefield 3.
is on too. You can go on to Origin and buy the US version. It's on sale right now. I think it's like $25.
LA Noire.
But Steve, it doesn't. It's not that it doesn't work because it's the Russian version.
Oh, that's why it doesn't work. Just go onto the forums and
Steely
find out.
Gaze. See that here? You saw the back of his head, but it's Steely Gaze.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I have to do my puppet show. So I can't see it. Damn it. All right, later on.
Okay. So did you play any games, Charlie?
I played I got Bastion. I don't know what Steam is just doing so we heard you had a few dollars left sale. And so they're like putting stuff on sale. Bastion popped up, and I was like,
how did they do their Christmas sale last year? Was it
they had a Christmas
several
sale.
weeks, or was it just a
no?
Christmas
It
sale?
like started. There was like a defined Christmas sale. I don't think this is even that.
Yes, with
this is
weird
like
achievements to much like
Yeah,
the summer
yeah.
sale, and you got an octopus hat for.
Was that part
uniforms
of that? I thought that was summer.
No, summer was the treasure hat.
No, that was.
No, the octopus hat was the treasure hat.
No, summer was buying
Wait.
stuff with the tickets, and that was definitely Christmas because
and that
I was.
resulted in the octopus
Yes, because this week last year I was in Lansing, Michigan for work, missing the beginning.
That's
of that.
right. That's right.
So,
hat. Okay. So
well,
So
I
is
never
there
got
still-
that hat,
is
and
there
that's one of
still
the
a-
things that broke my spirit.
I have that hat. I think I can trade it to you. Do you want it?
no, he doesn't.
Oh, not the big one. I have the small one.
I have the second tier one,
Yeah.
and the top tier one is ridiculous.
Yes. So yeah, I played Bastion, and that was cool. The kid, he did stuff, and then it was described by a nice guy with a nice voice. Windbags, they fear me. I got a shotgun.
Did you get the portal gun? Or wait.
Right
no,
now,
not the portal gun. You get the potion that makes the sentry guns from Portal.
Super. No, I don't have that. I have a.
You should get that because
I'm running with the repeater and the shotgun.
I think it's prettier, Steve. I think that stuff is pretty late game
Yeah, I don't know. I've just seen the video.
because I've played that.
I
I
got
played
it.
like 3 hours of that game.
I bought Bastion as well because I always wanted to pick it up when it came out, and I just didn't do it, and then I was like, oh, I'll get it when it's on sale, and it was like $5. So
yeah, it was super cool.
so I got it, and then haven't played it yet.
It's a great little console-y kind of brawlery game with, again, its claim to fame is the nice voice acting. The voice acting, turns it into the money. Are you?
the chocolate beer.
Yeah. Okay.
Steve, you should take a sip of this.
It's chocolatey. That was cool. Check that out. I played a little more Orcs Must Die. I kind of throw that in. Like, basically, Orcs Must Die and Bastion are kind of like the 2-pack game now. Yeah, it's
Oh, I thought you were hiding that.
hiding it behind the monitor. That would be a good.
Yes,
call.
I was hiding it to the camera,
Let's see.
just in case they were wondering what the chocolate beer was.
Well,
played-
at least it's less racist than last week's.
yeah.
Holding something up to the camera.
Oh, I had forgotten all about that. Thanks for bringing that back. Where's
So,
that
the
laptop?
cool thing
I was
about-
gonna smash the laptop.
I'm gonna drop kick it.
The cool thing about Orcs Must Die is that, unless you're in some sort of weird killer mindset where you're just going to restart the second you lose a rift point because you're going for perfection, like if you're just
That's
going
not how I play.
if you're just going to hang in the level, like the levels, like the longest par time for the hardest level is like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So
it's
you
nice.
know you can just like play a level in 15 minutes and
Right.
Which is really nice. When you load up Dota, you know you're in for at least 40 minutes.
You're in for 40 minutes. You're in
Like,
for 40
without a doubt.
You deep into that game, Steve?
I had 15 hours on the Steam clock. I think maybe a half hour of that is from leaving the game open, though. So,
Wow, so you
It's-
played it a lot.
well, I've been, playing against the computer, and you can after that many hours, you can kind of see how it goes back and forth. But
You start to see the numbers behind the flow.
you do start to see that, but then you can pick out stuff in between the patches where it's like, oop, they broke that.
Oh.
Like, oop, it's not like it doesn't call out towers, so you got to make sure you watch the map even more, because like the announcer usually calls out when a tower's being attacked, but like
Your tower is
it seems
under
to be
attack.
missing it occasionly, so you got to make sure you're watching that map at all times.
Well,
and- which is good for the game because you got to watch that map. So
Yeah, I would say that one of the clever things is, and this is an old TF2 exploit. If a cap is being captured, the announcer will say, "Your point is being taken." But if the person, let's say that person gets chased off that point, they leave the point. Point doesn't get capped, but it's still a percentage of being captured. Once a person goes back to that and starts capping again, there is no alert.
oh, okay.
So it may be like maybe they passed a little code over there and said, "Oh, if it gets attacked once, well, we'll tell you about it. But if it's being attacked again, you better figure that out."
That would
for
be
yourself."
interesting. I'll have to keep an eye out for that and see if I can spot that again.
Yeah, if somebody just like
weird,
ducks into the woods for like 3 seconds to avoid something, and you look and you're like, all right, they've been chased off, and they just come back and hammer at it if it doesn't re-alert you.
Yeah. I'm still up and down against the bots. Sometimes I do pretty good. Sometimes I don't do that good. I'm getting better at denying.
Mm-hmm. And you said you are using a script, right? That allows you.
No. I have been using the hit A,
the
deny,
attack.
the real way to do it. Because I never actually loaded up the script. Like I found one, but it was just kind of like, nah, whatever.
Well, I was thinking about this since we're talking about this here. One of the key reasons why that might have been removed is for griefing, because if you can attack move on your own dudes, you can attack move on your own dudes.
Yeah.
Which, if your model is a free-to-play game and you're willing to welcome anybody, you might be inviting some people who don't want to necessarily play the game the way you intended it to play.
Yeah, the other thing is it seems like, I mean, I don't know if that was an intended design of the original Dota or just the fact that
it's definitely
you can attack.
It's definitely designed
because
of Dota.
in the engine in the Warcraft 3
it is definitely
Blizzard
something
games,
you could have done in the
you can
Blizzard
attack
game.
your own troops by doing that. So if you make a mod for Warcraft 3,
then you can
inherently
just do it.
it's going to have that. So does Dota have that because the people who made it said, okay, well we have this whole last hit system. Is it also good for the game / balancing / increase the skill set to have this deny system? Or is the deny system a happenstance of the default function of the engine? And thus, that is why, like, you include that in Dota 2 because that's the way you played Dota 1 just by coincidence?
Yes.
And does League of Legends
the
say
Dota 2 design doc is Dota 1?
Yeah, and so you're just copying, regardless, not thinking about whether or not it was good or not.
And that was the deny system, which
it's
I
actually
found out.
I think it's a good system.
It's good because it
involves
involves you having to have more. You have to have more available micro, which is always good in this case.
Well, yes, so it raises the complication of the game. But
it's also something that was
as
already
matchmaking is good, because if you're not good
it was
enough
already
at the game to do it, then you'll be
that
match made against other people who aren't good enough to do it. If the matchmaking is bad, then it makes the learning curve of the game too steep and complicated for people to ever get in.
Well, either way, you need to learn how to do it. If you're not trying to last hit, I mean, yeah, you might not be good at denying, but you'll
last
get
hit is fine. No,
you
I
will
totally
get you will
understand
get
that.
denies if you understand last hitting. It's like the same coin, but I can tell
honestly,
you that
dude,
denying.
I'm still not
actually,
good at last hitting in LoL. So
I'm not.
I
that
always
great.
attack people
I'm not
too
that
soon.
great at last hitting.
Well, just not being good at it, but you understand it.
Oh yeah, no,
and
I
that's the
understand
difference.
concepts
I mean, there's
behind it, so
I didn't understand how to use I didn't understand how to use blink stalkers, and then I practiced with
well,
them.
isn't there a
you
point
learn
where you
how to
have
do
to
it.
choose between are you going to focus on denying or last hitting?
Nah, more than likely it's just like whatever is available.
Well, yeah,
like if you're like, oh, his bar is there, bing, all right, boom. It's just response.
Yeah,
it's like
I kind of got into the habit, like when I was the last couple games where I was trying to do it was if I can last hit one of my own guys and deny it without missing the opportunity to last hit one of their guys, getting my experience and coins, then I would go for it. But if it was too close, then I would just let it go.
you would go for getting coins for yourself.
Yeah, I would go for the coins.
Right.
Because
Right.
the coins and the experience are good. You know, it's like, sure, they get the same amount of experience and coins on the other side, but I need them more than letting them go. You know what I mean? So it's just
Because at some point it becomes that you need to be damn near perfect denying them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you will have atrophied trying to focus on denies, and ultimately lose. The
I don't know.
battle.
I'm not good enough at it, so I'm not sure. Like, if you were on and you denied like every creep, you could completely screw the other person. I mean, because they wouldn't be able to get any experience.
It's a way to punish someone who is just not is not being aggressive on the line, because essentially there's a couple of different games going on there. There's like I want you out of the lane so I can get more XP than you. I want you out of the lane because I'm going to try to kill you. You and me, we're about equal, and we know that we're kind of safe being this close together.
Yeah.
What can I do? What can I do?
Like couple levels.
Like I can't really harass you because let's say I'm a melee and you're a melee. Well, I don't really have an attack that I can harass you with. This is a way to harass, and it's effective. It's kind of interesting. The funny thing, though, I was saying, though, is that before Dota 2, denying was a mainstay of things like competitive Warcraft 3. Because Warcraft 3 had a huge competitive scene, just not in this country. It was, in fact, most of China is Warcraft 3 are like hardcore.
Wait, Warcraft 3 multiplayer somehow denying factors into...
Yeah, because the engine's still in there and you're still leveling up your champion. Remember that Dota is just a fun multiplayer version of Warcraft 3. Warcraft 3, you have a champion. You are trying to level up your champion. If your champion doesn't get the levels up and or dies because of some sloppy play, then you lose.
Yeah.
You just lose. And, having high-leveled champions who are flying around the map and you're getting crazy teleport buffs and getting items and buying them from this thing, that's all in Warcraft 3. Warcraft 3 is
I was never really
is
into
the same
Warcraft
game.
3.
I never played Warcraft 3.
Warcraft 2?
I really like
played
Warcraft
the
2,
shit
though,
out of
yeah.
that game.
Warcraft 3 is really good. And in probably about 4 years, when we see Warcraft 4, everyone will remember that. But for now, Dota. Dota is about as close as you're going to get to it.
Well, until Blizzard Dota comes out.
Yeah. It's funny too because I played like one round with actually I played 2 rounds of Dota this week. One
Yeah, if you love denying so much, why didn't you uninstall League of Legends from your computer if you think denying is...
I think denying is cool, and I don't
League of
think
Legends is a bad idea. Uninstalling Heroes of New Earth, good idea.
I don't think that denying makes is not one of the factors that makes Dota a better game. It makes it a different game that you need to appreciate. It's a cool thing, and it's definitely cool because I already kind of have that attack move or stop move from StarCraft, so I've kind of got the finger already for that. But I can't really, I'm not. The thing is, I'm way underleveled always in Dota 2. I mean, even in League of Legends, I'm oftentimes underleveled, and I'm like, why am I underleveled? What am I doing wrong here? So I need to totally, across the board, get better at last hitting. I mean, that is something I would need to do, or at least find strategies to make to be able to farm better.
And last hitting is really difficult. Like trying to learn how to do it is because it changes every time you go up a level,
and it changes for different dudes because they all have different attack animations.
So you
have to know that attack animation, and that's the benefit of saying,
in League of Legends I always
one.
do it. In League of Legends I always do it too early. Like I get the second to last hit because I try to last hit somebody, and that is not the last hit, and they have a smidge of health left, and then they get killed by one of my own creeps before I can kill them.
Yeah, and you're getting XP throughout, which is fine.
Yeah,
which means
that's
stay in
the
lane.
thing with League of Legends is you'll still get some of it. It's not quite the same as last hitting in Dota.
Overall, I'd say the League is just more interested in you getting up into levels, which can be problematic because it means people get fed a lot faster.
Mm-hmm.
So I've kind of split my time off with League of Legends to a couple of different activities. One of which the overall arching thing is level up and get IP to buy runes. I hit level 20 and I was like, okay.
God damn.
When I hit level 20, I had about 4,000 in IP, and I was like, all right, I can go and buy a bunch of runes and then I can just keep going along my merry way. The runes are pretty expensive, so they're like 410 for your average rune. So it was like, okay, that means I can buy, on average, I can buy about 6 runes. It doesn't really sound that much fun.
How many IP can you get for $25?
I'm not gonna pay money. Well, if you're gonna spend money, you should be spending that money on heroes or on champions, on expensive champions, because in playing with those expensive champions, you will then earn the money to get the runes. The runes you can never buy unless you got. But if you were like, I want to get buffs, and then you're essentially just saying like, you know, I am going to have like a powerhouse weekend where, you know, I basically stay in my underpants and order only like Totino's pizza rolls, and then you want to get your.
By the way, speaking about Totino's pizza rolls, when I found out about the free-to-play EverQuest 2 on Steam, I was like, that's it. I'm gonna get hardened to EverQuest 2. I'm a slash pizza all the time. They don't do that anymore. There's no slash pizza anymore.
How did that ever work?
You would slash pizza up a pizza, and then
Was
Pizza
it
Hut
Pizza
would bring
Hut?
it to your house.
Pizza Hut, yeah.
It's Pizza Hut specifically.
Yeah.
How would they know your address? And how would they know what you wanted?
It's tied into your. I think it was like slash pizza, and then a menu would come up. I like I said, I don't know for sure, but they don't do that anymore.
Bullshit.
It is bullshit.
They should.
I think they should bring it back.
But it's
for
okay.
free-to-play.
It's okay because computers are now powerful enough that you can alt tab to the Papa John's website.
But by the way, I want
Steam to add that to their interface.
Talking about free to play and a thing that I've noticed about every time they add a free to play game to Steam, there is always that post in the forum that the subject is not really free to play. You know, X the game is not really free to play.
Explain to you.
And then you open this post and it's like, sure, and just EverQuest 2, for example, because when I was like, oh, I'll just try. I've never played this game. I don't know anything about it. So I go look at this post and it's like, you can play till level 80. At level like 81, you can't use any of the high level gear anymore without like buying some sort of thing.
Okay. So level 80, which would take you...
That sounds like it would take a while. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like... And this person is like going on and on and on about how this game is not truly free to play. And they're missing the most important aspect of playing the game. Is supposedly they were supposed to be having fun with it.
Yeah.
And it's just like, man, I don't get it anymore. Like... Maybe I'm just getting old.
Dude, I say this on this podcast all the time, is that when you start to... if people start to like peel back the layers like that, ultimately you're indicting why are you doing this in the first place. Yeah. Like if your big complaint is if you pour like 200 hours into the game to be level 80 and then you might, God forbid, have to give Sony Online some money to do something additional past
it was like
hundreds of hours you got.
Like $15 so you could get your high level gear and like your spells.
Yeah, if that's somehow if the
that's a one time.
It was probably more. It was probably
one time.
But the idea
like,
is
is there another one time? It's not like there's then
no. I
subscription
think there were maybe a couple different $15 hits. It was a little hard to tell because at that point they were just ranting. But it was like you got to do your $15 to buy your high level spells, and you got to do your $15 to get like your end game armor.
Yeah, why not just consider that the end of the game though? Why not just I mean, if you
be like, yo, I'm 80.
If you're saying
I got a new character,
I got to level 20 in World of Warcraft. It was a great game.
Yeah.
Exactly, and that's like if you're going to say that like, oh, at such and such a point after all this time, it's $15 and it's a fraud because I need to do this other stuff that I need to spend $15 on. It's like, well, then no. That like, what about the whole like what you just said? Isn't it supposed to be fun? It's like, well, if the whole rest of the time to get to that point is invalidated by the possibility that you have to decide whether or not to spend that money to keep playing, like that you're not.
All in all, I really don't care about this because I totally know people in the real world that will argue over the stupidest shit ever. And if they want to argue semantics about like 80 levels of a game that I would be shocked if you got 10.
I'm getting 10 tomorrow. I'm gonna live stream it so you can watch.
Excellent. I like this.
So,
I like this commitment, Steve.
As I was saying there, I've been biding my time. I went out and I took my level 20 fun box, and instead of buying runes,
I thought he was gonna say level 20 priest in Warcraft.
No.
Is there a priest in Warcraft?
I don't know. Sure. The priest.
Is your level 20 Chuck
Were you a
Norris?
panda?
No, you can't be pandas yet.
How lame is Chuck Norris in that commercial? Come on, that's lame.
Yo, he punches
He's-
a shark.
he's
He
old.
punches a shark.
He's lame. He's an old meme. They should have had a newer meme. They should have had a leg with
He's
an
an
arrow
old
in it
man.
playing
The reason
game.
he's lame is because he's an old man. And yes, it is an old meme, and that is outdated. And that shows, and in a lot of ways, I could say that the fact that World of Warcraft came out with that
You have to-
commercial now.
You have to remember that the people who are just catching up with that meme are the people that they want playing World of Warcraft.
Yes.
So for those people, it's hitting at the right time.
So you're saying they're more clever than I give them credit for?
Yes,
Well, Blizzard is. more
Blizzard
clever,
is
yeah.
Blizzard is.
No. They should have.
Because you just got the Chuck Norris list in your Prodigy inbox.
Yeah,
I want.
copy serve, baby.
I can't even. Never mind. I was going to make a joke, and I don't have a punchline for it, so I won't even say it. So I went out and I got with my fun box. I got Garen, popularly known as Spin to Win. I believe he's very similar to Axe in Dota 2. Not positive on that.
Juggernaut, I think he's got
Juggernaut?
a crazy like
Spin.
sword spin thing.
The spin,
think
and then he's
that's
got like
Juggernaut.
an execute move, essentially.
Because Axe in Dota 2 just like he's got a distance axe.
Oh, he's
throw,
got a
but I
range?
don't think
Okay.
it's spin.
Okay.
Juggernaut's got a spin sword deal.
So he's good. He doesn't have mana, which is interesting. So he
Wait,
doesn't
what?
have mana. It's just cooldowns. So
No stamina or anything, just cooldowns.
just cooldowns. So basically, you build him like a tank, and you get cooldown reduction, and you're good to go. Also, if you feed him, team will get mad at you. I saw Volibear, who was on my team, who fed the Garen, and they didn't have nice things to say about him.
Just to interject, if you feed anyone, your
Yeah.
team is gonna get mad at you. Actually, if you do anything, your team is gonna get mad at you.
Yeah, basically, it's a lot like gym class. You just kind of like stay out of the periphery of anyone. Don't do anything that attracts attention, and you should be okay.
Dude, I don't care how good you're doing. They'll find anything. You buy wrong item, wrong time. Hey, why are you gonna buy that before 5 minutes? You don't need it. You should save that money.
I've played with people who are very helpful, and I've played with people who I would call discourteous.
Yeah, the majority of my time with League has been pretty helpful people.
Most people are pretty cool. I was playing. I will say that whenever I'm playing Dominion, I generally ignore the crap out of everybody because at this point I'm over 100 wins, and
You still
I know
play
what
with
I'm
Timo
doing.
all the time in Dominion?
no Shaco
That's what it was, not
Kale,
Timo.
and then I'm working other guys in. I'm working in other guys.
I was thinking of that Reddit thread when I said
The kind of trick is that you gotta like you are totally what I'm also finding out is that rune page, because if you don't have a rune page that you can start building for a specific character and a specific build, you basically are just hodgepodging. You're saying like, okay, I kind of want this, and this is kind of similar to a guy I already use. Okay, let's go with that. You're kind of like a different football team with a different playbook, and you just kind of like hope it works out. A couple examples of one person was calling out people for dying. Oh, you're dying again, noob! Noob, why are you dying? Noob, all you noobs, you're always dying, you're always feeding, noobs. And so I'm like going around and like I get killed in the run out, which most of the time I don't die in the run out. I'm like, okay, I have a good route that I run, and I know when to pull back when it's time to be careful. Well, I got killed in the run out. So this one guy's like, oh, you Shaco, you're such a noob, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, whatever, cool, you shoot your mouth off. I'll be top of the list by the end of the game. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, man.
And I'm like, okay, sure. This guy was playing Master Yi, which is kind of the win button, and he was kind of last on our team. But besides that, so we're running around doing our thing, and there's one guy who's like really helpful. He's like laughing. He's like, hey, good job, Shaco. Thanks for catching that. Or, hey, that's a good thing. You, such and such player, blah, blah, blah. And then, like, he dies. And he's like, oh, man, why you die again? You're such a noob. And then this guy responds, how come you die too? And then I was like, oh, that just took all his wins out of his sails.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
That's kind of how you got to do it.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was good. Another one was a guy who's like, he like just went on. I've actually, like, when I decide to feel randy and usually I try to ignore people because I think that's the high road. Just don't feed the troll.
yeah.
But one guy was like, Shaco, you're just a lengthy expletives, which I don't even know what they were because there's a bizarre.
Because they were
like,
in Portuguese.
No, they were in English, but they were filtered out by the filter out of whatever it is. So I'm like,
You could have learned new curse words.
so
Turn
my
that filter off.
my response to him was,
Just call everybody banana tights.
yeah. So I just responded, it's not true that all Brazilian players are BM. It's just all BM players are Brazilian.
No, this is important, and if to understand logic and logical fallacies is very important.
So he's like, string of curses at me, and I'm like, oh, that's nice talk. ... reported, and then that results in lulls from my entire team. My entire team loved the idea that I would tack on the phrase reported.
Yeah.
And then so he goes, well, I'm going to report you for being lame or being unskilled. It's unskilled is one of the things.
Yeah.
Like he's like, I'm like, okay, cool, you do that.
Like,
and I didn't
have
really care
fun.
about it. It was like, whatever. So we continue to play. He's last. I'm first. We win. And I'm sitting there, and he's like, so as soon as you drop back into that chat room at the end, he's like, everybody report Shaco for being a noob. And I'm like, how so? And then he just goes on a tirade of curse words, and I'm just like, oh yeah, you died 5 times, and it's my fault. My guy doesn't have a heal spell. He has an escape move. If you're expecting the guy with knives for hands to be your savior, no.
You're
no,
doing
my
it
friend.
wrong. Yeah.
So, but it was nice that he typed that all out because I just did Control-C.
And then
And I wrote the
in.
report, and then it says optional report.
Yeah.
I included all that. He had some nice racial slurs and some just general, like, dropping the discourteous statements about people's sexual preferences. It was good. I was like, oh man, you're gonna get a nice little note from Riot because they be watching.
Yeah.
They be watching.
That's the nice thing about the report features. Is that
Also, when you get to
do
be
seem
level
to work.
30, you get to adjudicate them.
Really?
At level 30, you can go and it'll be like, do you want to help?
That's the real metagame.
Yeah, so that's fun. So I bought that. I got Dr. Mundo. Dr. Mundo does not have mana as well. He's a big purple-green monster dude.
Hold on, no, don't step away for a second because we'll take a break right
But
after
I didn't
this.
want to interrupt Charlie's
Nope.
thought.
We'll take a break right after this. We're not right after Charlie's sentence, right after Charlie's story.
Okay.
We'll take a break.
All right, Dr. Mundo.
I would also then have to get up and crawl through all this stuff.
All
No,
right.
I was just going to make you wait. See, I have a clear path to the door. Sorry, Charlie, go ahead.
All right. I'm just going to drag this out longer now.
Great.
So Dr. Mundo is a big purple dude. He's apparently a serial killer who also achieved the medical status.
Dr. Giggles?
Kind of strange.
Dr. Moriarty, dude.
But he's a giant purple monster. And he has a hatchet knife.
You mean heroin?
Cocaine, actually.
Oh, was it
Yes.
cocaine?
Yeah.
Damn it. Sorry.
Yeah, that was all post-Freudian. So they're all. So he's got a big hatchet. He doesn't have mana, but he spends his health. So you just get like tons of health buffs, and then you are an unbeatable super monster. And then I got Annie because I really wanted Tibbers. Basically,
Everybody
I wanted
wants
Tibbers.
Did
I
you then
played with
buy-
her once. I tried to jungle. I died in the jungle. People were like, "Why are you trying to jungle with Annie?" And I was like, "Hey, it's versus beginner bots." And they were like, "Good point." And then they all tried to jungle. It was fun. It was fun. But in that sense, I don't really have any of the fancier runes. I'm up to level 21 now. But basically, I'm just like powerhousing through as much as I can. There was I am playing a lot of not just Dominion. I play since I'm trying to learn these other characters, all these other champions. I played Summoner's Rift on beginner, and then when that gets too easy, I play intermediate. And then when some idiot tries to invite me into his game because I play well against intermediate bots, I laugh at him because I say yes. And then they have to say stuff like, "Cho, to the bottom lane. You're not handling the top lane well enough." I'm like, okay.
Oh.
That's fine. I want to be the guy who gets told to do the task and then do the task, as opposed to the guy like Volibear who was feeding Garen and they got unhappy with him.
Yeah.
And then he rage quit.
I'm actually getting to that point in my Dota 2 play where I'm gonna have to start playing real people. And
you sound so sad, Steve.
I've seen
ultimately that's what the game is for.
Well, no, I've seen enough replays that I don't know if I'm going to see enough helpful people. Like my first couple times out, it's probably going to be pretty shitty.
No, the practice games people seem like they don't give a shit. Like the only problem
I
with
wouldn't be doing practice anyway. I would jump right into ranked.
Yeah, do a couple of practice. But the only thing you'll find and this is an overall problem with all of these kind of games, is some folks never make it. They never make it to the promised land of connecting to the server. And then you have the 4-on-5.
No, there has been a patch. The last patch introduced the no 4-on-5. If one person does not connect when the game loads, it dumps you back to find a match.
Good. That's good. That's good. Because League is good about that. There are cases when I have a few where people have gotten all the way through and then they've crapped out like in the game.
Oh,
you know,
like right after it starts?
Or no, like after the game's been going a little, like they'll crap out. And I'm positive they aren't quitting because they like, oh my god, my prostitute has arrived. I have to leave the game.
Yeah.
I think they're just like
slash pizza.
bad connection. Yeah, I think they have a bad connection because they'll pop back in like near the end and be like, and a summoner has reconnected. Oh, your entire team is all dead. Oh, and you're going to get reported for AFK. So sad. Just a reminder of what your name was.
All right. Well.
Let's.
Should I call out the break now? Or are we just going to do it?
Let's have a break.
All right.